Hello friends, welcome to .click Automation Labs. Today we will discuss about one of the important topic called as automating OTP transactions. So most of the times we do not automate OTP transactions because it would be very tough to read the email and get the OTP from email. Or also alternately, we can ask developer to turn off the OTP in testing environment and can complete our rest of the process. Or we can request developer to make a static password, means static OTP, means every time it will generate simple same OTP and we do input the excuse me, we do input the static OTP. So, but now to we will discuss about how do we automate better and how do we automate OTP transactions better way. So we can ask our developers to generate the OTP and send that OTP to any of your test Gmail account. So most of the times developers will generate OTP and send to your official email ID, but we can request developer to send that OTP to your Gmail account. If that is possible, then definitely you can automate the end-to-end OTP transactions using the automation utilities that is present in our repository. So let's get started and see how it works. So let us take a genuine example like navigate to onedrive.live.com. So OneDrive is, right? It's a cloud-based file storage platform and enter your email. So I'm assuming that you're already registered to it and you forgot the password. So now using the below steps like click on forgot password and select the email and click on next button, then it will generate one OTP to your Gmail account and our task is to how to read that OTP from your Gmail. So then after you read that OTP, you can input onto the on your web page. So this is a script we wanted to automate. And now how do we achieve this whole process using the automation utilities? So let's move to the next. So what would be our approach in such cases? So the first step would be from step 1 to step 6, we can write the WebDriver script, right? Just simple like driver.navigate to driver.find element and dot send keys, driver.find element by dot click, like click next, click forgot password. So up to 6th, these steps are straight forward and you can automate it to quickly. But coming about the 7th step, now you see how do we automate the 7th step. So to automate that step, we are depending upon a utility called as automation utilities -pro-1.0.jar and add this to your project. Okay, so means if you have a Java or Maven project, you can just add it to your class path. And if you wanted to know how to add and all, you can watch this video. I can provide this video link in the description, and it will show you how do you use Selenium utilities. It means automation utilities in your project. So once you added that project, then you have access to all the utilities developed in this jar file. So in this jar file, we have a class called as email utilities. So just type few letters and control space, then this will import your class. This is com.testing.framework.email utilities. And these email utilities is having a method called as get unread message by from email. So means this will able to retrieve the latest message which is unread. Means suppose if it is already read, it won't be retrieved. It will capture the unread message by from which email ID. So means generally if you say forgot password, you may receive some Microsoft support or Google no reply. So kind of from where the email was generated, and pass that email as a parameter and establish a Gmail connection. I will tell you how to establish this. And folder is not, obviously it's a inbox and subject line. So in subject line, you can mention what is like reset password or request for a password, so kind of what is your expected message subject line. So then pass it, then this message, this mail will, this particular method will retrieve the complete email text. So how, in that email text you can retrieve the OTP, because OTP would usually would be a integer part. You can easily retrieve the OTP using regular expression utilities. So this is a rough picture of how do we automate the OTP scenarios using automation utilities. So let's do a practical scenario. How do we achieve this? Okay. So before that, let us understand more about reading the emails. So to read any email or from your Gmail box, these are the settings must be done. And the first setting would be you need to enable the IMAP. And these are the steps. And you need to disable two-step verification. And there is a link called as Allo Less Secure Apps. It should be on. So once you click on this, it automatically direct you to this particular page, and you can turn on. And let's see how we can do this. So I'm taking for one of the email ID. This is my test email ID. Okay. I logged in and go to see all settings, and maybe you need to, yeah, I'm moving over here, click on this and see enable IMAP. This is the step one. Okay, this is done. And what would be the step two? Disable two-step verification. So for this, go over here, manage your Google account, and go to security left side, and there you can see the two-step verification. It is off, so this is fine. If it is on, you need to make sure this should be off. Okay, so I haven't turned it on, so let it, don't touch it, and move back and click on this link. So this link will navigate you to one page. Okay, I'm just pasting over here, and make sure that you are making this to your specific ID, test automation lab. Make sure you verify that and on it. Okay, so this is how you can do the settings for this particular your Gmail account, so that the Gmail can be accessed using the Java code. So these are the settings you must enable for your Gmail account. I advise you to create one test account and play all these topics, so that you will not lose your access to your genuine Gmail account. And now let's see how we code this particular scenario. So let's get started a practical session. So this is my Eclipse ID. And before we jump onto the coding stuff, so let us see how we can connect to the Gmail account. So for that, I'll show you. This is my Gmail account. So for this, I already requested to reset my password from OneDrive, so that this is my message format, which is I know. And now if you look at my code, so this is my email utilities code. I just created email utilities class, and I created property class just to read the property emails. Okay, property dot load, and this will load your input properties, and this property should have the values. I will show you what type of values. So it should have Gmail underscore username should be in same format, equals to your email ID, and Gmail underscore password. This should be exact your password. I just did some demo one. I'm not showing the original one because it has some sensitive my password details. So that one, the original one also similarly, but with right password. And you need to mention this port. This is everyone the same port, and you need to mention gmail underscore from. So means suppose if you wanted to generate any email, so from which email id you wanted to send, you can give. And the two means to whom you wanted to send email. Suppose I wanted to generate an email and automatically send by Java, to whom you wanted to send, that you need to provide over here. So these details are mandatory to use this. And once you load this into the property, okay, so then there is a email utilities dot connect to gmail method. This is my utility which I have written. Okay, and for this I have already added my jar file. Look at my jar file, reference libraries. You see automation utilities dot pro dot jar. From this jar file I'm using this code. And now it has different methods. This is one is to read the messages, unread messages, you can comment it. And other one is I have email utilities dot get unread messages by from email. So it means it will connect to your mailbox and it retrieves only unread messages. If it is already read, then that will return you the null. And it will take these parameters. One is the connection parameter, nothing but your Gmail connection. And here you need to provide the folder where you wanted to read the emails. So obviously these are in my inbox, so I'm reading. And now this is what email from which sender you wanted to read, means you need to provide that, because my password reset for OneDrive, it always I receive the message from this email. So this email I am providing over here, account underscore security no reply account.protection.microsoft.com. And here what would be your email subject line. So I always receive Microsoft account password reset. Okay, so that part I am providing over here. Okay, so now if I execute it, it should read this entire content and store it in this particular email text. So let's give a quick try. Okay, so now this is my email box and this is a test automation labs 3. Okay, so test automation labs 3 means I think I need to use the different config because I provided lab 3 details over here. So I'm changing the property file to lab3.properties. Okay guys, so now I put some breakpoint over here, right click, debug as. Let's see what it does. Now we are at this page. Now step over F6. You see I got nothing. It's a 0 because I do not have anything. I received a new email because it's all red, because I don't, the application is, I haven't received any OTPs from application, so nothing is there. Then I'm throwing some exception, no email received is the one case I'm handling. So for a to test this, I'm just making one change to my email. I'm just marking this as unread. Okay, so assume that this is recently generated. Okay, so now run this code, debug as Java application. Okay, so now I'm what I'm telling this utility, what I'm doing, get unread messages from my email box using inbox, using from this email ID and having the subject as Microsoft account password reset. So now click F6, next step. Okay, so now you see something generated. Now see email text. See, you got one email which is unread, and you see this complete email was retrieved. Okay, and here I'm checking because its size is greater than 1. Okay, we got 1, right? equal to 1. So now I am using my regular expression to split this entire content using a integer like different parts. Okay, so now you go over here and split it. Now this will only retrieve the numbers from your email ID and store it in an array. And it always your email format is same, and always the second place means having the one index is always your OTP. Okay, this is your OTP 5575603. You look at your email 5575603. Okay, and here you see email text and not this one, and the string. You see the first index one is the OTP. Now if what would be your OTP of 1 means the second one. So this is how you can retrieve your OTP 5755575063. So this is how you can retrieve OTP from your email box. Getting it? Okay, so suppose if I wanted to check, this would be my latest. Okay, I'm marking it as unread. Okay, mark as unread from here. Okay, so now run your code, and you will this time you will get the latest OTP. Debug as Java application, email text. You see email text and 0073810. Okay, this one, right? 0073810. Okay, so from this I'm using regular expression to split, and always the second one means first index one is my OTP. So this is how you can retrieve your OTP. So I could have done by going OneDrive and reset my password, but as it is a production one, it is not allowing me to do multiple times. So that's the reason I haven't shown that, and I'm just showing you the exact format of email. So now your application might have some email ID. Okay, and that email ID you need to provide over here. Okay, and this is obviously inbox, and the subject password, like what would be your email password generally your application is generating, that should go over here. Okay guys, so this is how you can read your OTP. Okay, so now let us repeat this, and entire scenario means what is our thing need to do. This is the problem statement. This is the scenario which we need to automate. So step 1, step 2, step 2, up to step 6, which I have already automated over here. Look at this, up to 6. Okay, so now for this code we will add how to retrieve OTP. Okay, so that code we will add it right now, and these are all I have written offline. So right, this is to create WebDriver instance. Go to your application, and this is to set the weight, and input type email means which email ID you wanted to retrieve the uh, OTP. So I said test automation labs 3 at gmail.com, but this time we will try test automation. What is the next email ID? Lab 2, test automation lab 2. Okay, because I have used many times for lab 3, and now the OneDrive is not allowing me. It was throwing some exception like you have requested multiple times. So that's why I'm using this test automation lab 2. And for this tech box, for this email box, we would be receiving the email OTP. Okay, so there is nothing over here. There's a one introduction email, forget about it. And now this is one activity to click on next, and now forgot password and select one option and then click. Then you will receive the email with your OTP. That is, we need to type over here. So here we will write the OTP retrieval procedure. So email utils. Okay, so email, you can give any object equals to new email utils, and make sure you are using this only com.testing.framework.framework utilities. email utils dot. Okay, so there are multiple methods we can use, but currently we focus on get messages from email using subject line. Okay, so use this. And connection means obviously we need to first the Gmail connection. So for that, I'm using email utils dot connect to Gmail, and this requires the properties. As I said, your property file should have all these values. Okay, so for that you declare the properties class. This particular class will help us to define your properties. This is a Java class. Property equals to new property Java util dot property. Okay, so and properties dot load. Load means this will take file input stream as an object. Okay, so you need to create file input stream object, and you need to give the file path. So now I'm using this set of properties config lab2. So copy this property file path and paste it over here. Okay, and you need to give the full path config lab2.properties. So I'm not opening it. It contains the similar one, but with password. Okay, config.properties. Okay, guys. So now this connect to Gmail method will read all properties which are mentioned in your config and will establish a Gmail connection. Okay. So if you want, you can store this or you can directly use this like this, because this will return you the connection object. Okay, so now folder is obviously what is the folder you wanted to read. That thing you need to pass. It should be inbox give. Okay, and what is your from email id? Generally it should be okay, so just go over here. The from email id is account security no reply microsoft.com. Okay, so put over here. And what is your subject line? Generally this should be Microsoft account password reset. Got it? So now it is done, and it may ask to throw some exceptions. Do it. Oh, what is this? Okay, guys. So this is done. And now what it does, if no message received means you need to handle that, right? So for that you need to store this in a list, because this method will give you list of emails. Okay, and the emails are in string format. So string, you can mention here email text, isn't it? Sorry, some messy. First import this java utility dot list and mention string, and here give a space email text equals to. Okay, so I'm storing it here. Suppose if this length is 0, then no email received. Maybe there would be some issue with your application and no email was received, then you should handle that case, right? So then I'm checking the size less than 1 means 0 or equal to 0. You can use throw some exception, throw new exception. This is one of the way to throw exception, and you can say no OTP received. Okay, so if else means you will receive the email. Okay, so then you need to retrieve the email text, isn't it? Means out of this you need to get this is a list, right? So you need to get the first element. Obviously it will have only the first element, because we keep on reading the emails, right? Once it is received, we keep on reading. Then there would be only one unread email from this particular email id having the forgot password as a subject. So now you need to define a regular expression to retrieve only the text part. Okay, string regular expression equals to, sorry, just to retrieve the only digit part. So this is the regular expression you can define. Caret symbol, there is one. Yep. Okay, double slash D. I think this is the syntax to verify only digits. Okay, now use email text dot get. The first one means 0, right? Obviously it has only one. Okay, dot split with your regular expression. This is my regular expression, so that this will split on based on the digits and will store in a array, and store it in an array like string. Okay, so string array OTP equals to this, and make it as a string. Okay, so now declare OTP variable somewhere over here, string OTP something over here. Now here you will be storing that OTP equals to, okay, array OTP of 1, right? As your format is, we have shown, right? I have shown you the example. So this is your OTP, and you can just type for your reference, type it to the console, print it to the console. OTP is, and your OTP variable. Okay, so now you can put this OTP to your application as an input, right? So let us test this. Okay, so I'm putting some breakpoints. It may run. I just wanted to show how it works. Okay, so right click, debug as. I'm sorry, something wrong. What is that? Doesn't exist. Oh, okay, so I think I need to look at my web, this one. So what is our, oh, from where we are executing this, and it should have a chrome driver.exe. Okay, so maybe we'll copy path from over here. This is our chrome driver.exe. So let me check whether it is having it or not. Yeah, it is having the resources and Gecko driver or all the drivers. So maybe I can change it to, and as it's a Greco driver, then your this one should be Firefox driver, right? I can change it to Firefox driver input. Okay, so let me rerun debug as Java application. Now this is navigating to OneDrive sign in page. Okay, okay, this should enter value and click on next. It should enter some value and click on next, and the value would be this one. Okay, it does. Now clicked, we could not find. Okay, oh sorry, I think it should be test automation lab 2. Yep, so this is the one. Now we got this enter password page. Okay, so go over here, click next, and it clicked on forgot password. Now this will generate an email to testautomationlab2@gmail.com. Nothing but testautomationlab2@gmail.com. Nothing is received so far. Okay. So now click this one and click on get code. Okay, we just sent code to this email ID. Now here our code will start. Email utilities, property file, read and read the email text. Got it right? Look at this. We got 172935. Check your email. This is the email 172935. Okay. So I'm passing it and this will hold all the lines. And this is one and the OTP is 172935. This is nothing but this one. And now this will enter the OTP. Look at your application, enter the OTP and click on next. See, we successfully automated the OTP process. So now you can reset your password and then your task is done. So this is how you can achieve your OTP automation using Automation Pro Utilities jar file. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So please, if you like it, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or any uh, issues using this utility, please reach out or please comment so that I can get back to you. So thank you for watching this video.